Serve as a bridge between the college and the industry. They serve on our advisory board and they let us know how we are doing overall.
I'm excited about being on the foundation. I think there's all kinds of opportunities to support the college. I have never seen an academic entity that is so connected with the community in terms of helping people with their general education, in terms of agriculture, in terms of other industries. And I think with the health industry, we have many evolving professions that are developing, and just sitting down and talking with the president of the college and others in the curriculum that we can develop literally a curriculum from start to finish.
My role as a Rend Lake College Foundation director is very important in terms of our relationship with the college. For the most part, I can guarantee that when I'm sitting in front of our medical staff and we're talking about starting a new scholarship for medical coding or nursing, or working with others in the community about what Rend Lake College Foundation is doing, I can guarantee that those funds are going to good use. I know who's using them, how they're being used, and I know the quality of people that are running the foundation, and that puts minds at ease, knowing that where you're giving your money, it's being used well and appropriately.
I think the education and training of nurses is so expensive, and it just takes a lot of support with the economic situations that we have now, and that's a vital connection between somebody who really wants to do something with their lives and do something for other people, and I think that's just a bridge. It's a good way to one, have some ownership of that, and two, form a relationship that we turn that relationship into something very special later on.
Here we don't have the same issues that other places have with recruitment, partially because of Rend Lake College and the relationship we have. And when you look at the student, you think about people that are 18, 19, in their early 20s, and that's really not the kind of students that we see now. You see parents and even grandparents going back to school for sometimes a second or third career. And they're not worried about the same things that a 19, 20-year-old is worried about. I mean, they have mouths to feed and bills to pay and a mortgage. And with these scholarships, we're able to take one thing off of the mind of these people so they can do things to better themselves and improve the standing of their family and contribute more to the community.
I think the thing that our hospitals are so dependent on is being able to develop talent for the future. We are looking at shortages in all kinds of professionals and all kinds of other people within the industry. The industry is changing so dramatically that there will just be new occupations, and having that relationship with the college is so vital to be able to make sure that the future pipeline is there and the future opportunities for people who live here is there and well, and that they can really contribute to the community when they're done.
There's a saying that I learned probably about 5 or 6 years ago when we had a charter elementary school, and we made all the students go forward, and at the end of the year they say, "I stand on the shoulders of." And they would say their parent or someone who's made an impact on their life. And although we don't always know who's receiving scholarships or how we're benefiting, I'm proud as Crossroads Community Hospital that we know that someone is standing on our shoulders to do better for themselves and for the community.
Both Crossroads and Good Samaritan support our students financially, as well as providing live learning environments through our clinical partnerships. They show their commitment to the college mission and our students by providing scholarships, donating their time, and securing gifts in kind.
I wholly support the mission, and that's why I am on the board of directors. Probably my most favorite thing about being on the board of directors is hearing Terry talk about corn and corn-related products.
Let's give those guys a big hand. Now, I don't know if you caught it or not, but Finney did have a John Deere hat by the computer. And I think he kind of caught wind that there was a little competition going on with the videos tonight and every night. And he was going for my vote, and Finney, you got it. But I think you lost Rubenacker back there because he's all red. So it probably washes out. But when Finney talked about, the shoulders we stand on. When we have these partnerships as an institution to help these students, we're standing on the shoulders of giants, and we appreciate that. So, and don't worry, there's tons of stuff we can talk about on the corn. So I'm converting them one by one, slowly. So thank you guys. The next program area we're going to highlight, and A lot of times I've been asked, what do you see coming down the line? And always we're going to be in education. I can't emphasize that enough, that we're about advancing students for careers, but we're also about advancing students in education. We're in the education business. And so transferring them on to higher institutions of learning, furthering their degrees, those kind of things we're always about. Sometimes we look at training specifically in what industries are coming down the line. And in some of the big areas, there's probably 4 major areas, obviously healthcare being one of them, and then the energy sector. And as a society, we've got a huge appetite for that. And we're aware the coal mines, let's face it, 48 to 52%, depending on which statistic you want to believe, because 42% of all statistics are made up. But basically half the lights come from electricity that's basically generated by coal. And one of the things I can say about our coal partners, our White Oaks, Mock Mine, M-Class, Blackhawk, you name it, they have been about doing what they need to do and doing it responsibly. And part of the trainings that we've been involved in, it's not about whether it's going to happen or not going to happen and what side of the fence you're on that, because that obviously is something of an issue at times, but it's about doing it and doing it right. And these folks have done it right, and we want to be a partner about training those individuals, safety, making sure everybody comes home at night, and those kind of things. And so these partners have put a lot of energy and effort into that, and they put a lot of energy and effort into Chris Nielsen's area. Chris was an old coal miner. I shouldn't say old coal miner, but yeah, he's an old coal miner. It's a compliment. But we're big on hands-on when we talk about training and stuff. We talk about live work. So if it's mechanics, we're going to talk about it, and we're going to talk about the theory, but at the end of the day, you're going to get in it and you're going to be doing it. And that's what we model our coal mining after. And we kind of coined the phrase full contact coal mining. And we believe in that. And our partners do too. So this next video deals with that.
For over 40 years, Rend Lake College has had a relationship with the coal operators and the coal companies, whether it be training the employees that already work for the coal mine, or new employees, or giving maintenance training to the employees that work underground.
Rend Lake College staff, administration, mining faculty have worked very closely with White Oak on their existing and prospective employees. They've adapted to the industry needs very well and continue to grow their skills to help the industry and White Oak in particular.
Since their inception, we have worked closely with White Oak Resources at McLeansboro. We've trained 2 groups of their new employees and continue to do training with them. Since both of the mock operations have gone in at Johnson City and the Sugar Camp operation, we have provided the ongoing training which is required for all their employees. And we have worked with Magnum Steel through the years and Joy to provide the training that they need to serve the mining industry. Because of this relationship we have with the employers, we know the type of employees that they're looking for and the skill sets, the things that are valuable to the coal company, whether it be the skills in mining the coal or the soft skills that the employees need to have to make them successful when working out at the coal mine.
White Oak has worked very closely with Rend Lake. We very much value the partnership. White Oak has been able to acquire and garner the support of other manufacturers to donate things such as a continuous miner, shuttle cars. We actually have one of the roof bolters on site that we're using now for our own training and usage, and it's been very helpful to the industry and to White Oak.
It's important to learn the safety aspects of the equipment and what you should do and what you shouldn't do around the equipment, but also having the equipment makes the training much more real. If we're talking about the hydraulics on a piece of equipment, we're not just looking at a hydraulic trainer with the pieces and parts, we're looking at a real piece of mining equipment. If we're talking about the electrical system on a piece of equipment on a continuous miner, it's full-size parts. so that they see how the equipment is put together and how the parts are installed, and actually get to deal with the real live equipment.
So as we've had employees that are trained at Rend Lake, as they arrive on site, they've been ready to go. A lot of them are experienced and inexperienced, and the training that they have been able to get at Rend Lake has been quite invaluable.
We've put together a staff of people with a large amount of experience in the mining industry, who know the mining industry, and can pass those skills along to future coal miners. When the students that we've trained here at Rend Lake College go to work in the mining industry, we found that they've been very successful. They have a good work ethic, they show up for work, and they work when they're there. Technically, they're ahead of somebody that is hired in off the streets because they know the equipment and what they're dealing with before they ever go through the training to go underground. You know, 16 tons, what do you get?
We're trying to move this along, but Chris, we've got a little time that we'll make. Real quick, wanted to wrap this section up and wanted to point out something when you talk about teamwork. Our people, probably the thing that I'm the proudest of about these partnerships, our people know your people. And if you don't, we'll get acquainted. We've got those contacts, and so Don McBride, the coal mines know him. They know our nurses. They know our trainers. They know our mechanics and our technicians. So I think that's important. It's a true partnership whenever you know eyeball to eyeball who you're talking to and what's going on. So round of applause, please, for our mining partners, too. Thank you.
I want to say up front tonight that I am honored that I was asked to make this special announcement here at this dinner. I understand that the coal industry is a dangerous occupation. And I tell you that not because of statistics I've seen or something I've read in a book or because somebody told me that. I understand that because I worked 20 years at Old Bend Mine 21, 14 of those years as an underground coal miner. I went to work with friends at the start of a shift and heard during the shift that they'd been killed. It's like the old Johnny Cash song says about coal mines. Dangers are doubled and pleasures are few. And while I know firsthand about those dangers, I'm also an advocate of coal. And I strongly believe that coal has to be a part of the equation if Southern Illinois is going to decrease poverty and unemployment and be successful. There are many members of the Tim Chamness family here tonight, and they know about the dangers of the coal industry far more than any of us. Tim Chamness died February 13th, 2013 in a mining accident at the Prairie Eagle South Mine near Cutler. He was 28 years old. He was a 2002 graduate of Ziegler-Roulton High School, where he was an outstanding student athlete. He was one of the athletes that I have broadcast and talked about and thrilled about their athletic success. When I heard that Tim had been killed in the accident, I wanted to do something. And sometimes when I'm like that, the best thing for me to do is grab a keyboard and try and write something. I contacted some folks that I know that knew Tim better than I did. People that are here tonight, John Kretz and his wife Maria. John was a football coach at Christopher High School for many years. Tom Wheeler and his wife Linda are here tonight. Tom coached track and basketball at Christopher for many years. Randall Risley, who's a longtime Ziegler historian and statistician. I contacted them and I just asked them a few questions and chatted with them, and I wrote a story. I dug that story out in the last couple weeks, and I just want to highlight a couple things they told me. They used words like, he was just genuine. He was a wonderful person, said Randall Risley. But he also said he was delight to be around, Tim Chamness. He told a story about him being an excellent athlete, but he had what he called a forgettable basketball game one night. He fouled out trying to guard the other team's best player, fouled out in less than a quarter. And Randall Risley made him up a certificate for setting a school record. To show you what kind of a guy Tim Chamness was, he framed it and hung it on his bedroom wall. Tom Wheeler talked about always in a good mood, always had excitement in his eyes, the type of person you look forward to seeing, always had a positive attitude. He showed up for practice ready to go. I think one of the most poignant stories that was told, though, came from John Kretz. John talked about the fact that Ziegler and Christopher co-opted in football. And he said Tim was was a student at Ziegler, but was just as popular at Christopher as he was at Ziegler. But he told a story about moving Tim up to the varsity level as a sophomore to run back kickoffs and to run back punts. And the very first time that Tim was back to take a kickoff, he ran it back for a touchdown. And instead of him going to the sidelines to celebrate with his teammates, he sought out Coach Kretz and said, "Thank you for giving me a chance." And I guess just to sum up, John Kretz said this: he was just a good person. And it's a tremendous loss that we've lost him. I'm honored tonight to announce that the Chamness family has created a $60,000 endowment scholarship in honor of Timothy Keith Chamness. This award will provide 5 scholarships in the mining industry annually. Clearly, there is no grief worse than losing a child. It defies the law of nature. We're not supposed to bury our children. But this endowment that will live on forever turns grief into generosity, turns sorrow into success, and it turns tragedy into triumph. Many years from now, when none of us are here, Tim Chamness' name will live on at Rend Lake College, providing opportunities for young people. What a great testament to this family. And what a great and lasting legacy for an outstanding young man. We wish that the Chamness family, I think there's a table here and one here, please stand. And please join me in welcoming Jim Chamness. He is the father of Tim Chamness.
February 13th, 2013. Normal day, everything's wonderful. Come home from lunch, meet Tim in his truck getting ready to go to the Dollar General store to grab a sandwich. 10 o'clock at night, I got the phone call that you've heard about all your life. It was horrible. But I want to say this, there are a lot of good people. When Tim died, we decided to set up a memorial scholarship, something to keep his name alive, memory of him. The memories that John Kretz, Tom Wheeler, Randy Risley talked about. Ever-present smile. Tim smiled all the time. Never found an enemy. So we set up the Timothy Keith Chamness Memorial Scholarship Fund. And there were many generous people. But I'd like to mention tonight a special thing. I was sitting in my office one day and got a phone call from Mr. Steve Carter, who's the president of Nighthawk Coal Company. Steve said, Jim, we've been talking and would like to do a little something special for Tim's scholarship fund. And he said, every quarter we give our employees a $500 safety bonus. Those employees didn't get a safety bonus the first quarter of 2013. So I think, as most of you people would have probably thought, that Mr. Carter was going to give Tim's $500 to his scholarship fund. Mr. Carter and Nighthawk Coal Company, along with all their employees, gave $500 for every employee of Nighthawk Coal Company to Tim's scholarship fund. That allowed us the opportunity to create this endowment with the Rend Lake College Foundation. I appreciate everything Sean has done to help me with this process, and hopefully we can help other students. Tim was 28 years old. Tim graduated from high school as Jim Muir mentioned, as a scholar athlete. Tim played baseball at Rend Lake College in the fall. And then Tim decided to go on and work instead of going to school. We want to help other children in the Rend Lake district. We want to help give an opportunity to many, many, many students down the road. I'm a high school guidance counselor at Ziegler-Royalton High School, and today I had a student walk in my office and said, I need to apply to college. And I said, well, let's do that right now. So we did. He said, now I've got a big question. How do I pay for this? We have a lot of needy people, a lot of needy parents, and a lot of needy students. Any way we can do anything to help these kids, it's very important. As I look through the crowd and all the information I've read from the Rend Lake College Foundation, as a guidance counselor at Ziegler-Royalton, I see everything you do for the Ziegler-Royalton students and many other students. I appreciate that very much. But like Mr. Muir said, we were going to announce tonight the Timothy Keith Chamness Memorial Scholarship is a $60,000 endowment, which will give 5 scholarships to the mining program each year. Thank you.
To present our Foundation Award, please welcome back to the podium RLC President Terry Wilkerson and RLCF CEO Shauna Mannion.
This evening, we would like to honor 2 of our RLCF directors for the longevity of their service to the foundation. These 2 directors have been instrumental in the growth and the strengthening of the foundation and the college. I believe that oftentimes when you hear about members of boards that have been seated for quite a long time, you hear of them becoming less involved. A very, very popular complaint in my industry is people having sitting ducks on their boards. People who have been there through it all, and they don't necessarily feel the need to contribute too much anymore. I don't envy those people, and we don't have those people on our board. When I look at the 2 longest serving members of our foundation board, I know without a doubt that they think about the foundation and the college often, probably even daily. The first board member we would like to honor this evening has served on our board for 20 years. Rich Younkus was seated on the foundation board in 1993. Rich is a weekly, sometimes daily, sometimes multiple times a day phone call for me. Rich manages our investments, and he, along with our investment committee, ensure that the foundation's assets are properly managed and they are profitable. He works tirelessly, and I can guarantee he thinks about the foundation every day. Many of the best pieces of advice and wisdom I've received in my position have come from my meetings with Rich in his office. Rich most recently spearheaded the foundation's support of the swim team at Rend Lake College, the Otters. The foundation purchased scoreboards and touchpads for the team so that they could host meets at our school. Now, for those of you who know Rich, you know he has an amazing history in our theme for this evening. For those of you who don't, you'll see what I mean whenever he stands to accept this award. Rich Younkus has not only played at the high school and college level of basketball, he went pro. A little history on just how good he is at basketball. When Rich graduated from the Georgia Institute of Technology, his jersey, number 40, was retired, and he was inducted immediately into the Hall of Fame. It was an unprecedented move at the time and hasn't been done for any other athlete in any sport in the school's history since. Rich is still the program's all-time leading scorer with 2,232 points, and that record has stood for over 40 years. Rich went pro once he graduated and played alongside names such as Kenny Anderson, John Sally, and Dennis Scott. Before we have Rich come up to take our token of appreciation for his service, we were able to find some footage of the Benton Bomber.
Hey man, who's that cat coming down the street?
I don't know, but it sounds to me like that's Richard Man with the bone.
Sure having himself a ball.